Ladies and gentlemen, as far as I see the stock market, I think it's time to be fearful for me. And I can't tell you what you should do, but it's really a time to be fearful. And let me give you my own analysis. As a disclaimer, not telling you to buy or sell, just general education and entertainment. And let's go. So the analysts are making bullish forecasts for 2025. And the most bullish forecast has so far put the ending number for the S&P 500 at 7,000 points. Deutsche Bank also put at 7,000 points. And frankly speaking, if you were to look at what the current number is, which is slightly above 6,000, 7,000 points, doesn't seem so far-fetched, right? It's probably about 15% or so. And the other guys are pitching around 10% growth, right? That's a safe bet. Very few people actually believe that the stock market will go down, and there are probably more bulls than bears right now. And the reason why everybody is taking this position is because the entire economic outlook is just positive. We got Trump on board right now. He's pro stock market. He's going to cut taxes. We have got inflation in check. We have got profits of the company that is going up, and all the outlook just looks so good, right? So it's something that is going to spark the entire stock market to go further up and up and up. I don't think we need to look too far away to wait until 2025. The S&P 500, as we speak right now during recording time, has already broke all-time high again at 6,046 points. And the whole world is very, very bullish, and they are rightfully so, and they should be bullish. I think the Nasdaq should break all-time high within this week or so. It's already like just a sliver away, maybe even today. And it is something that whole world is celebrating, making a lot of money, and this is a typical exuberance that we're seeing. But it is time for me to be fearful. We are now experiencing what I call a bull market of everything. Right? Everything right now there is an asset of some form is rising astronomically. Not just S&P 500, Nasdaq, STI, Bitcoin is rising phenomenally. I think it's really borderline 100,000 really. Gold is rising like crazy. Property prices, especially HDB flats, are rising like crazy, and so on, right? Every asset I can think of, or every financial instrument I can think of, even bonds right now is rising. So we're experiencing a bull run of everything. And that's great. The whole world is getting richer and richer. So this is a typical case where it reminds me of Warren Buffett's quotation. I quoted wrongly the last time, but I'm going to quote it rightly today. He actually said this, and this was actually not his own quote. He actually quoted it from Benjamin Graham, his sifu and mentor, and everybody immortalized it as his. Let's see what he says. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. In 2022, when the whole stock market was crashing and crashing and crashing, I've actually demonstrated to everybody how greedy I was. I just slammed down after shots, after shots, after shots. And now it's the reverse, right? Everybody is so greedy right now, chasing markets and things like that, and I couldn't help but actually exhibiting some form of contrarian belief that I should be fearful right now when other people are greedy, and the whole world is extremely greedy right now. A lot of people ask, Mr. Lu, do you believe that the stock market will still go up? Yes, absolutely. I think the stock market will go up a lot more, but the risk has also gone up a lot more. So it can both happen together, that the stock market goes up, and the risk also goes up phenomenally, meaning that there is a, outsized chance that the market could suddenly crash as well. The only thing I'm not sure is the timing, and I'm also not sure what can cause it. So it's really very difficult to analyze and predict when that day would be. Actually, most people would agree with me. Even you, most people agree with me that the stock market one day will crash. And what they want to do is to sell right before the crash. Or when a crash happens, they quickly sell it and escape the whole Holocaust. So I would just say this from my experience in the stock market for decades. The stock market can rise a lot and come down very fast, faster than you can react and your psychology can handle. And to hope that you are able to sell right before the highest point is reached and before it crash, I think it's a very risky thing. Currently, right now, the market has only one big fear: inflation or re-inflation, that Trump would start a trade war with the rest of the world, especially China, and ignite inflation again because the prices of the imported goods go up. And that could also raise the possibility of recession, according to Wall Street strategy. Things could just happen. On this note, my personal view is this. From my experience, any shock that's anticipated in nature rarely sends the stock market spiraling down. Rarely. I'm not saying no, but very rarely. If the shock is anticipated, then the whole stock market will know how to react. What normally hit the market really hard is something unknown and unexpected. For example, a COVID crisis, for example, Lehman Brothers crash. For example, in 2022, a sudden spike of inflation and the war between Russia and Ukraine further pushing the inflation higher and higher. So all these are very difficult to anticipate, and those kind of things can send the stock market crashing. Again, I cannot tell everybody what you should do. I'm just going to share with you what I do. I've been gradually rebalancing away from equities, and this is something that is in Finance 101, right? You maintain a certain ratio between equities and bonds and cash and all this, and then you rebalance. I've said it like 50,000 times. I'm going to say again, this is something very healthy that I do. Okay. And again, I cannot tell you what you should do, but this is something that I do. A lot of people ask me, so Mr. Lu, what ratio to take whatsoever? This is a very arbitrary number, but let me give you a ratio that I spotted from someone that is so smart, that better than any one of us. I said it before and say it again. Warren Buffett cash position is right now reaching 30% of his portfolio. And I've been discussing quite a lot with Ben, my son, who's also increasingly very intelligent in financial field. I think it's a great number to take a cue from. And what it basically says is that you look at a total portfolio of assets and you reallocate between assets and cash and bonds and things like that, in a certain ratio. In the case of Buffett, he's allocating 30% of his asset into cash, and most of the rest, I think, are in equities. So 30% is so far his highest ever reach, and I think it's a good cue to take from. I would like to repeat again, I'm not saying that the crash will come very soon. It may come in a month, may come in a year, it may come in 3 years, it may come even longer. I don't know. I don't have the ability to predict a crash. In CNBC, they interview strategists and say that the S&P 500 will crash at 2025 to 4,100 points. I watch his video, equally convincing, although I'm not convinced, but I just want to say that there is an analyst for every data point that exists out there in the world. At this juncture, the bearish analyst a bit rare. He's an example, but it basically says that it could happen. I don't know when, I also don't know how far you fall to, and I can't predict. It's easier for me to identify market bottoms, and I've done it again and again and again. But I came to realize again and again, I tell everybody again and again, that it's really very difficult to predict the top of a bull. And for those smart aleck that thinks that, you know how to identify a market peak, don't kid yourself. And I think that you should do a self-reflection. If Warren Buffett can't do it, I don't know how you can do it. So where do we go from here? Well, it is financial prudence for us to maintain certain balancing ratios, and I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to tell you what you should do, what ratios to adopt, but I'm going to do that, and I hope to be able to achieve what I think is an optimum number. I really like the number 30 as well, and I'm just going to stick to that. Okay. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye bye.